Welcome to the Thursday press conference ahead of the 2018 Mexican Grand Prix. Joining us today from left to right, Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez, Kimi Raikkonen, Max Verstappen and Pierre Gasly. Checo, if we can start with you, please. It's your home Grand Prix this weekend. Can you just give us some idea of what the build-up to this race has been like for you?
Yeah, it's amazing. It seems that since the first year that we had the Mexican Grand Prix has been big, but we see in other countries that sometimes it drags away, but no, it doesn't happen here. Here, the people, the media, everyone is so excited about this weekend, and it's been great. The amount of support that I received during the weekend is amazing, and I think once again we're gonna have an amazing Mexican Grand Prix.
Pierre, looking back at Austin last weekend, you ran some aerodynamic upgrades on the car, then took them off just before qualifying. Are you going to be using them here? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, in Austin wasn't ideal with the weather conditions, so we had a new package that we could not run until P3, and basically we need more mileage, more running with this one to really understand how to use the package and extract the full potential. So we took it off before the weekend, before the qualifying, and this weekend, we're going to run it again. We've got only one part, so this time Brendan's going to get it on the car.
Carlos, let's start by looking back at Austin. It was Renault's biggest single race score of the season. Was that track specific, or are you confident that you can repeat that this weekend here in Mexico?
Austin was a great example of a good team effort, but at the same time, a track that was suiting us better, a lot more low-speed corners that our car works well, a bit less power sensitive, that obviously in qualifying we feel it. So combination of hard work, but also a track that was suiting us better, made us score a very strong result, which we needed for that fourth place in the championship. I think Mexico is another great opportunity to score a double points finish. It's still less power sensitive, it's quite a lot of low speed corners, so it could present some good opportunities, but we need to keep us focused and as determined as we were in Austin for sure.
Max, tremendous race by you. Saw you overtake more cars than any other Grand Prix you've done. How do you reflect on that race?
I think we didn't expect to really fight for the podium, but looking at the year before as well, we were really competitive in the race, and again it showed this time out as well. So doing the opposite strategy, I think, seemed to be working well. And to be at the end of the race fighting for the victory was of course very nice. And of course to hang on to second in the last few laps was challenging with the tires I had, but it was also a lot of fun.
Thank you, Max. Kimi, thank you for waiting. Great to see you back on the top step of the podium last weekend in Austin. Can you just tell us, with the benefit of hindsight, how much you enjoyed that race and everything that came after it? And
yeah, it was a great result, obviously, and it was a good race. We had to fight for it quite a bit. So I think it didn't come easy, but I think it's good for us and good for everybody. I think it was an exciting race. So what else to say? We were happy. Hopefully this weekend will be strong. End result we'll see on Sunday, but we'll do our best.
Thank you. Now let's open this press conference to the floor. First question, please.
Max, could you tell what the positive and negative effects are of racing on altitude?
I think the engines will be a little bit closer because it's just a bit more difficult for them to breathe. But downforce-wise, you lose a lot of performance, and then it's more about mechanical grip and stuff. Because even with the biggest wing here, you have less downforce than in Monza, and I think our car is very good mechanically anyway, also aerodynamically. But of course, that's less of a factor. So that's why I think we are normally more competitive on this track than others, even though there is a super long straight in the track. So I think that just explains a lot. Physically, it's not a big deal because it's so low grip.
Question for all drivers, although Kimi, you might choose not to answer it. Just, are you a bit surprised by the mistakes that Sebastian Vettel has made this year? And do you think that he's thrown this championship away, given the commanding lead he had at the early stages of the season?
Well, let's start on the left this time. Carlos?
Well, I think it's always difficult to judge the performance of any other driver because you don't know the car, you don't know what they're going through. Of course, there's been some mistakes that we've all seen, but I think it's very easy to judge it from the outside. and not know what is clearly going on in there. I really respect Sebastian. I think he's a 4-time world champion for a meaning, and because he deserves to be a 4-time world champion, and he will come back eventually.
It's very hard to judge the performance from someone when you're not in the team and you don't know exactly what's going on. So it makes no sense for me to say. Obviously, we've seen some mistakes. Probably at the end, he was just desperate to try to achieve what was probably not possible. But he's a four-time world champion for that reason. So he has a great team, so I think he will be back to fight again.
One of those things, sometimes it happens, and you push and sometimes you get it wrong, and unfortunately it happened to him a few times, but I think we all gone through it, and it's part of the game.
I can only look at myself, I think it makes no sense to comment for another driver, so I don't want to piss anyone off.
I think probably overperformed with the car at the beginning of the season. A couple of times he managed to win races, which probably probably didn't have the potential to win them. And then of course expectations were really high. So did a couple of mistakes. Second part of the season, I think he's the only one who could answer why. And when you're fighting for the championship, I think just so much at the limit all the time. Tried to achieve things, as Sergio said, probably not achievable with the car yet a couple of times, and things happen. So, they all said it. He's full-time world champion. I think he knows how to manage a championship. It's not the first time he's in this position, but yeah, he's the only one who could answer to that question.